if you pick the best team in the world, who would you pick? I said John Charles, centre-half, or John Charles, centre-forward. Take a pick.
Fantastic when you think that we've played 38 matches, only lost 2, 61 points, and Liverpool are still behind us.
And Clarke going in, and Alan Clarke has put Leeds ahead.
Leeds United have won by 3 goals to 2.
There's the strike, wonderful goal, wonderful Bauer.
Sends an across from the right, there's Viduka, he scored this time! And it is his first goal for Leeds United!
Leeds have turned it around! Leeds are in front! It's captain Jermaine Beckford with the goal! And there ends Leeds United! League One nightmare!
And welcome to a brand new era at Ellen Road. This team never gives up! This team are just awesome!
Welcome to Deepdale. Fine evening, and the pitch looks absolutely immaculate here. Beautiful sight, the stripes across it. The Leeds fans gathering in huge numbers away to our left-hand side as we watch in a match position, perfectly placed right on halfway as the arrival of the teams is awaited by what should be a decent crowd inside Deepdale this evening. Preston's home form has been exceptionally good so far this season. They have the best record in the division, 1-5 drawn 1, so no doubt their fans will feel there's a real opportunity for them to extend that lead. Leeds have had their wobbles in recent away games, not when I've been watching them, mind, but a 100% record from the away fixtures thus far that I've seen. Let's hope that's still the case at the end of the evening. Alongside me tonight, delighted to say, we've got former Leeds United player Ben Parker looking ahead to the game, and a game that promises to present Leeds with quite a challenge, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, good evening, Bryn. Good evening, everybody else as well. It's going to be a big challenge, just mentioning there about the home record here at Deepdale. They're a team that, similar style to us, to be honest, Bryn, like to play in the right way. They've got good, positive young players that try and get on the front foot, play at a high tempo, but just looking at the pitch when we first arrived, it's like a bowling green. There's simply no excuses from our part why we can't play the lovely, attractive football that we have played throughout the majority of this season. So, look, and we all know the big following we always have at Preston. They've yet again come in the thousands over the Pennines, made the short kind of trip over to Preston. So, the onus is on us to go back up that big 3 points we had on Saturday, and they can the only stumbling block in probably in my mind coming into this game. Last week was such a big high for the club as a whole. There's always might be a little dip, so you're just wondering back in your mind, is that dip going to come? But I know what this group of players are about. They're mentally so strong, and they won't want any dip, and I can't really see it, to be honest.
They're having to cope with a few challenges anyway, aren't they? Because there are some important players who are sidelined currently. So the team, when people are coming in, they're having to replace others, they're having to do a job that others have been doing. So every point gained in that manner is maybe even more important, because at some point those players come back into the frame again.
Certainly is. And the players that have been kind of given the opportunity due to injuries, like that's what you want in football. Ultimately, only 11 players can play, and if you're not in that first 11 come start of the season, unfortunately it's going to take an injury, a suspension, loss of form for you to get your place. So when you get that place, you just want to grab it with both hands, and we've seen the manager again, he's stuck with the same starting 11 from Saturday. Obviously he made that change at half-time with Eddie Nketiah coming on. He might have well stuck with the team that finished the game, but no, he's loyal as the manager to the players, and the players react to that in a positive way because they know they've got that loyalty from the boss, and they try and repay it in the right way by giving 100%, and that's what we do see. I'm sure the guys in the studio talked about the hard work off the ball. Again, there was a clip on Saturday in the first half where there were 4 or 5 Leeds players hunting that one Birmingham player, forced him to a mistake, and that's the bare minimum we expect from this group of players. Now the onus is on in that final third. We're going to have possession, we're going to have territory. Can we convert it into more chances working the goalkeeper, but ultimately putting the ball in back of the net.
Leeds have got a good record against Preston North End, haven't they, in recent seasons? Came here late last season indeed, and picked up a really good away win with 2 Patrick Bamford goals. Does any of that actually play any part in a player's mind? Do you have places that you prefer to play at?
Certainly do. And man, you just spoke about there, Patrick Bamford, because it's not too long ago since we actually came here and got that victory. So for a guy like Patrick, I think his overall play has been absolutely superb, but ultimately as a striker these days you do get judged on your goals, so I'm sure he'll be just wanting to find the back of the net. And you're right, he's got some great memories of recent times being here, so hopefully he can have another good night like that.
It's interesting, we were talking in the commentary during the game on Saturday about the number of corner kicks, particularly first half, and set pieces to a lesser extent, but certainly corner kicks that Leeds forced, double figures by half time, and actually didn't really create any moments of danger from them. They were all, the outcome was predictable, entirely predictable, because the same player pretty much headed the ball away on every occasion. And it was picked up by Marcelo Bielsa in his talk ahead of this game, where he said that they're going to vary that, or try and vary that a little bit, and do something a little bit different with some of those set piece opportunities perhaps.
Has they been listening to us, Bryn? Is this where we're trying to get along?
I felt vindicated.
But no, we were saying the same things in commentary on Saturday, wasn't we? Because that same man who headed the ball, Jukovic, it's like his head and the ball was like also magnetised together. But no, the quality we do possess, I think the delivery from Calvin's, they haven't been bad. They've been in good areas. I think he's a great set piece taker. He's obviously worked quite hard at his delivery because he takes them from both sides. It's just that kind of variation you spoke about there, Bryn. Can you mix things up? Because to be honest, if you do look at us as a team, we're not the most big like dominant in the air kind type of sides, but what we are, we're a very clever team. So I've been very surprised in the short space of time we have had between Saturday and tonight's game. We haven't kind of had maybe a little look of variation. And do you know what, players kind of do it off the cuff as well. They try and do it themselves, take the onus on themselves. And like I said, the quality of players we do have on show, we're not a bit surprised if we do come up with something different.
Well, the two teams are in the tunnel and the two teams are emerging from the tunnel. And it's almost game time here in Lancashire. Preston North End against Leeds United. Leeds United in the change strip this evening. That's the second strip rather than the third strip, which was launched yesterday. And so Leeds tonight in the charcoal grey and shocking pink, and Preston in very traditional Preston colours, white shirts, dark blue shorts and white stockings with blue hoops around them. A club like Leeds with a very proud history. Proud Preston being the name by which many know them, and Leeds United heading towards the away supporters. Such a massive bank of fans here who've travelled over the Pennines this evening to follow the side. As ever, every seat sold in that away section, and as Ben intimated, they travel in the hope that they'll see what they saw last season, but I think we can predict a tough night awaits against a side that's been so good in front of their own fans. Indeed, their last defeat here was that defeat against Leeds last April, courtesy of those 2 Patrick Bamford goals. So the Leeds United lineup is exactly as it was on Saturday afternoon for the game against Birmingham City. And Marcelo Bielsa sticks with all the same personnel. Maybe the only question was whether Eddie Nketiah would pick up where he left off in terms of having come on at half time, but Patrick Bamford is back in from the off and Nketiah is on the bench. Preston lost their game at the weekend to a very, very late goal indeed against Reading, and as a result of that, Alex Neil has made changes to his team, 3 changes indeed, and so there's a slightly different look to Preston North End. But that Preston team is pretty a familiar looking side. They haven't been investing massively heavily in the transfer market, maybe not an option available to them, but there's been some very shrewd management here. They have a chairman by the name of Peter Ridsdale, who obviously has strong connections with Leeds United, and quietly behind the scenes has been working here to establish a pretty solid foundation financially. And so whilst they don't go big in the market, Alex Neil's done an excellent job of assembling a good side that flirted with a playoff place last season, and this season has gone even better than that, been up as high as 3rd very recently, and will feel that they have a chance maybe of lasting the pace this time around if they can avoid the sort of injuries that really hit them very heavily around Christmas time last season. formalities being carried out in the centre circle. Leeds United players have formed their huddle and have broken from the huddle. And we're not too far away from the kick-off here at Deepdale this evening. As predicted, decent crowd inside the stadium. Not too many seats away to our right-hand side, the main bank of home supporters, or in the main stand in which we're seated right in the back row, right on halfway. And as already mentioned, the end to our left-hand side completely full with the away supporters. Well, the Leeds players are into the huddle now. And that's a sure sign that we're almost ready for the off. Well-known referee this evening in the shape of Kevin Friend. We're almost set to go. Leeds will be kicking, it would appear, from left to right in the first half. That means they're defending the end in front of the away supporters. Casilla goes to that goal mouth now, dressed all in orange this evening. And it's Preston North End who will get the game underway very shortly. Good noise all around the ground. Daniel Johnson, the man who is their leading goal scorer, 7 goals, 4 assists for the Jamaican. An excellent championship level player. He's proved that over the last few seasons. And he started this season exceptionally well. And he starts this game incorrectly, as it turns out. He's gone, I think the ball was moving or something, so the referee has ordered him to have another go at taking the kick-off. And we are off now. Ball out towards the left-hand side, and an early chance for Preston North End to take a throw-in from the halfway line, right in front of the dugouts. The away dugout to the left of the halfway line as we look at it. Both coaches stroke managers out right at the edge of their technical areas at the moment, Alex Neil and Marcelo Bielsa. Leeds United through Ayling out to Helder Costa on this near side. Costa goes back towards Ben White on the edge of the Leeds penalty area, and then Ben White with a short ball forward to Berardi. Still with his strapping on the right hand, Nketiah Berardi. Leeds trying to work the ball down the left-hand touchline. Ball played down the touchline to Stuart Dallas with a little flick off for Klich. Klich 10 yards outside the Preston penalty area. Ball into the penalty area. Alioski meets it on the volley. And it was an interesting attempt from Alioski to either shoot goalwards or maybe to play a teammate in. In the end, it was neither really, but it almost caused Preston the first moment of concern in this evening's game.
Great link-up play initially down that left-hand side, Bryn. Stuart Dallas drifted out there, but when Alioski, the ball kind of fell, so a great little dink pass by Matthias Klich. Just don't think he realised he had too much time for it. He must have thought a defender or a centre-half would come in on the cover, and he kind of panicked into doing it first time, but he had more time than he kind of realised.
So Alioski popping up in the box, much as we saw right at the end of the game on Saturday when he had an excellent chance to allay some of the nerves that were beginning to build up around Ellen Road as Leeds defended that narrow lead. And it's Preston attacking the Leeds penalty area at the moment. Preston have forced the first corner kick of the evening with Brad Potts, the former Barnsley man, trying to get the ball into the penalty area, and it's diverted away from him, and it will be a Preston corner. So an opportunity for Preston to send the big guys up, an opportunity that they appear set to take. And Leeds United have to concentrate on the defensive work in front of the away supporters. Corner kick far side of the pitch, and the signal is given, and the ball comes into the penalty area, and it goes high onto the head on this near side. And then comes out to Johnson on the edge of the penalty area, and he's leaning back when he volleys the ball goalwards, and you'll hear the reaction from the Leeds United supporters behind the goal, into the midst of whom the ball sailed from the foot of Daniel Johnson.
Defended well there, Bryn, just watching how it was set up before the corner were taken. A lot of man-for-man marking. On that, when you're doing that kind of setup, just don't let runners get half a yard on you, stay touch tight. And sometimes it's not even the first header we've seen there, well, might be the problem. It's the second ball dropped down to Johnson, but there were enough bodies around him to put him off.
Ball on the halfway line from Casilla's goal kick. Patrick Bamford has possession, does well to control, and it's a nice ball out to Costa on the right hand side. Almost played a pass into the penalty area. into the path of Klich, but it's diverted away from Klich, and it is a Leeds United corner kick. So we've had the first corner for Preston, and almost immediately in the aftermath we've now got the first Leeds United corner kick of the evening. Calvin Phillips will take it now. We'll see whether they do something different with it.
Well, they are set up zonally, are Preston.
They are, right. They have 4 players spread across the edge of the 6-yard box. The runners come in from the edge of the penalty area. Patrick Bamford with a header, and it's not a million miles away. He found a pocket of space to operate in the penalty area there, Patrick Bamford, and he turned his header goalwards, just didn't quite get the angle on it.
You have to say it's half a chance, is that, because he's a good yard away from his marker. Yeah, again, a great delivery by Calvin, and that's the problem if he has staying zonal, as them 4 markers were for Preston on the 6-yard box. Get free from your initial marker, then you can have half an attempt, and I think he'd want that backward Bamford, trying to at least get it on target.
Yeah, the 4 players on the edge of the 6-yard box were left largely redundant, to be honest, because the runners came in from the edge of the area, and Patrick Bamford almost capitalised as a result. So maybe there's something that Leeds can exploit there as the evening unfolds. Ball at the feet of Preston keeper Rudd, and from his right foot it goes out towards the right-hand touchline. Header infield is from Fisher, and then it carries out for a Leeds United throw-in, pretty much on the halfway line. And the night's first chorus of Marching On Together rings out from 4,000 or so voices to our left-hand side as Leeds attack at the other end. Bamford out wide to Ayling. Ayling's got a bit of space that he can move into now. Bamford's continued the forward run, but the ball from Ayling is between Bamford and Dallas, and is cleared away to safety and the halfway line, and Ben White, and now Berardi in possession, and now Calvin Phillips back to Berardi under a little bit of pressure, so forced back to Casilla, and it's a poor ball from Berardi. It was under hit, and Casilla slipped as he tried to meet it, and Leeds United concede a throw in as a result of that, right down by the corner flag. But that was a bit of a mess, that, momentarily.
Just a bit sloppy, wasn't it? Didn't have to be, because initially we worked it well between Calvin, Ben White, just stopped their initial ball up to the striker. But it's to Kiko with a good starting position, they had to be.
So the throw in towards the penalty area, and the ball's in the box, and now out to the box on the right hand side. It's crossed in by Pearson, and then it rolls all the way through to Casilla, and this time he throws out overarm. Don't see that too often from Casilla, and it's intercepted and delivered back into the Leeds half, and then going down the near side touchline. The man in possession was Barkhuizen, but he couldn't make forward progress past Luke Ayling, and Leeds United have a throw in midway inside their own territory. And Luke Ayling looks for a grey and pink shirt. Stuart Dallas provides assistance, and Ayling has it back from Dallas.
Well played.
And Dallas goes back towards the edge of the penalty area, and Berardi out wide to the left hand side. Alioski forward to Harrison, back to Alioski, and then up to the halfway line it goes. They'll flick on into the path, hopefully rather, of Harrison. Doesn't quite get there in time, but Leeds have the chance to start again from the halfway line. Klich in possession. Dallas rather goes back to Berardi. Berardi on the far side goes back into the penalty area to Casilla. It's a first time clearance for you. Loops that one up to the halfway line, bounces over the head of Harrison, and then is half volleyed back into Leeds territory again on the far side with Browne, the Preston skipper, and then the ball breaks for Potts to cross into the area, but he's overhit the cross, and it actually sails all the way across the penalty area and comes out over the near side touchline for a Leeds United throw in.
I always believe early stages of a game, especially on the second balls, are vital, Bryn, because that's where teams can get on the front foot. You just see what Preston are trying to do, maybe go a touch bit longer, not initially win the first set, to try and fight for those second balls, just try and play in our final third.
Helder Costa wriggles away from a couple of challenges on the halfway line and plays Harrison in, who does really well to touch the ball and give himself a chance to run at the penalty area, and then the ball into the boxes behind a couple of Leeds shirts, comes out to Dallas. Now Bamford right side, and he sliced the shot a little. He had good power, but not quite the accuracy, and it went wide at the near side post. Best chance yet for Leeds United.
I thought Stuart Dallas has done really well, just a bit of composure on edge of the box. So I thought he was going to smash it on the volley himself, but saw Bamford out corner his eye. But again, great build-up play from Costa, then Jack Harrison. Jack Harrison's first touch is different class, by the way. I've seen it throughout this season. Just drops it so still into its path. Only thing with Bamford there was mentioned it pre-match, hit the target.
So Leeds United have created an opening. It was a shot off target in terms of the stats column. Patrick Bamford maybe just getting his sight in there. He's got a great goal, one of his 2 here last season. A memorable strike. Can he do the same again tonight? Harrison far side is tussling away with Fisher, and it's Fisher, I think, who's going to get the free kick award, is he? On the far side touchline. No, it's a throw-in is given to Preston, which Fisher does take, and it's into the centre circle and then played out to this near side, left-hand side touchline, where it's picked up as Costa makes the foul challenge there on Rafferty, the Irish player. And Preston, as a result of that, have a free kick in a decent place. It's a couple of yards in from the near side touchline. It's almost level with the edge of the Leeds penalty area. So a chance for another Irishman, Alan Browne, to swing a right football into the Leeds penalty area. Players from both sides lined up on the edge of the box and now dropping into the box round about the penalty spot. Cluster of white and grey shirts there. Browne with a 2-man wall in front of him has a look and makes a decision on what he's going to do with this one. Right foot in it goes, swings in towards the far post. It's a great free kick, that one, into that dangerous area for Leeds in the 6-yard box. Keeper stayed stuck to the line, so needed help from Luke Ayling, and Ayling cleared behind at the cost of a corner kick.
Good positioning from Luke Ayling there, because like I said, the ball in was so good, the keeper couldn't come out and get it, but good experienced player Luke Ayling, right place to right time.
There's just a few calls from the Leeds United end for the ball to be re-spotted in the corner quadrant, and the referee now has jogged across to make sure that all is well. Preston were gaining at least a couple of inches by pushing the ball, rolling the ball a little further out the quadrant than is allowed there. In it comes now, into the near post, headed away from the edge of the 6-yard box. And Johnson picks up for Preston and goes back to Fisher inside the Preston half. He, with a long ball diagonally out towards the right-hand touchline, indeed over the right-hand touchline, and that will be a Leeds United throw-in down by the corner flag. Chance for Leeds to clear after a little period of pressure that Preston have been putting on that Leeds penalty area in the last couple of minutes. Leeds having created the first real opportunity of the evening. Patrick Bamford, who's had a couple of sightings, hasn't he? He's had the header wide and then a shot wide as well. Preston in possession at the moment though. They have the ball on the right-hand touchline. The ball is brought in towards the edge of the penalty area now. Played into the box for David Nugent, and Nugent turns goalwards and crosses into the 6-yard box, and Kiko Casilla waits at his near post. It's an easy catch for the Leeds keeper, and again ball's out under overarm, but it's caught by Daniel Johnson, and then he loses possession, and now Ayling has it on the near side touchline, and Bamford does indeed turn and has the ball at his feet, has support on the overlap from Ayling, tried to go in field to Costa, managed neither, but Leeds do have a throw in level with the edge of the Preston penalty area, so they're up in a more dangerous area now, and the opportunity to try and create something from this near side touchline throw in. Lots of movement in front of the throw in taker, Ayling, and Ayling gets the ball back from Dallas, and Dallas gets the ball back from Ayling, and now he swings the ball into the edge of the penalty area. It comes back out on the far side to Alioski. He turns it further wide to Harrison. Can Harrison take on the fullback? He does take on the fullback, and he beats him, and he gets into the penalty area, and he does really well there, Jack Harrison. Good positive run, turned the player inside and out, and as a result, from a deflection and a diversion behind, Leeds get another corner kick.
Looks really sharp, does Harrison. Goes both ways at the moment. Must be a nightmare for a fullback to try and mark, because like I said, you don't know which way to show him.
Had a real big part to play in Leeds' goal, the winning goal indeed on Saturday against Birmingham. And Harrison awaits the corner kick from Calvin Phillips in the penalty area now. Bamford with the head, comes off the back of Bamford there. And then is there a foul in the penalty area? Indeed there is on Fisher, the fullback. Just a brush in the back really, but I think he felt the contact and so decided a little collapse to his knees would elicit a free kick, and that's exactly what happened.
It was a little collapse as well, but nothing in that whatsoever for me. But I think what we've tried so far, what we've seen from the set pieces, getting runners across the front zone or man, and that does make a big difference. So you can just see whether someone has to sacrifice themselves, because not every time you're going to score from that position, but you're just trying to unsettle the structure of a defensive team.
Ball's up on the edge of the Leeds penalty area. Well defended on the edge of the Leeds penalty area by Ben White. Had to be as well because Preston had sent in a couple of runners there. Potts was one, Nugent was the other, and if either had got contact of that ball, there could have been a problem there for Leeds United, but White read it and managed to stretch out one of those long legs and just hook the ball into touch, level with the edge of the Leeds penalty area now on the far side. Preston kicking towards the huge bank of travelling supporters this evening at Deepdale. Leeds United defending on the edge of the penalty area again, and an opportunity almost opens up in front of Potts. It comes back to Casilla, and Casilla, all under pressure, plays the ball, a pass indeed out to the far side, and Leeds end up with a goal kick as a result of the attempted clearance forward. Hits a white shirt, goes behind. So the scoreline remains Preston North End 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds will be relatively happy with the way the game has opened, I'm sure. Fans in good voice. Matchday live on LUTV, brought to you by Deliveroo Food Freedom. Kiko Casilla with the goal kick for Leeds into the centre circle. Nobody there at all in a Leeds shirt, and it's an easy pick-up for Ben Davies of Preston. And then the ball spins out over the far side touchline, and Preston have a throw-in now on the halfway line. Fisher will take, right full back. Down the line it goes, intercepted by Dallas, but Preston win the ball back through Johnson, out towards the near side, switch of play, and the man in possession is Barkhuizen, and then back to the halfway line, and the ball is carried forward from a defensive position, but Berardi, Alioski intercepts, and now Harrison, and then it goes back to Alioski, and then infield to Calvin Phillips, and Leeds playing in a little triangle just outside the penalty area.
Well played.
And then Berardi switches play from left to right to Ben White, and then White down the line to Ayling, and now Leeds have worked the ball into a more advanced position, and there's exactly the same sort of reaction when Pearson goes in on the back of Dallas. Stuart Dallas collapses to his knees and Leeds United get the free kick.
On this occasion, Brady, was a definite foul. but that were good. I think that's where we've got to just not be sloppy like Ayling's been there. We move the ball quick because Preston are trying to set little traps by almost saying, right, go on, you can have the ball, say initially Ben White, and then we'll go have a press off back of that. But if we can beat that initial press, there's that spare man in midfield because they are gambling and leaving either Klich or Stuart Dallas as a free man in the midfield. So if we can beat that initial press, move the ball quick like we normally do, we can get out on the front foot, get on the half turn and drive at the back four.
Yeah, there was a lapse in concentration from Luke Ayling, who allowed the ball to go under his foot and out for a throw-in, but he's recovered. Leeds have recovered. Leeds have the ball, and it's back in the penalty area with Kiko Casilla, and Casilla works it wide to Berardi. Not the best hit pass ever, so Berardi has to wait a little while for the ball to come to his feet, and as a result Preston just have the opportunity to advance a little further up the pitch and put a bit more pressure on Leeds defenders, and as a result of all of that they end up with a throw-in on the edge of the penalty area. So crispness in passing was lacking, and at the end of all of that, a volleyed shot from the far corner of the penalty area causes Casilla no problem and goes behind for a goal kick. And
that's my point, Bryn, where I'm saying passing with a purpose, with a tempo. Pass it like you want to receive the ball. Don't just kind of under-hit it because it's an easy pass. That generates the press then. You can get after the ball and then you force into a mistake. So yeah, a simple pass might be on, but wrap it into the person who's receiving it.
Now he's in a central position, held Costa. Dallas is out wide as the shot comes in from Klich, just outside of the D. It's a looping header to clear from Fisher. Comes almost back out for Dallas on the edge of the D again. But Leeds will probably, if they're going to get the ball back, have to start again from halfway. Kevin Friend says no foul as Nugent and White challenge for it. And now Ayling up towards the edge of the box, taken down on the chest by Dallas. Comes back out for Calvin Phillips. Phillips tries to play the ball down the channel for Bamford. A little miss-hit, but Leeds have it back through Ayling on this near side. Still in Preston's half. Push to the ground. Surely Luke Ayling there. And that will be a free kick for Leeds United. It was Alan Browne just leaning into Luke Ayling. And it's the same thing, really. If a player now feels that sort of contact in the back, they are going to fall over and they are going to get a free kick. And
I have to say, Luke Ayling is the master of that art. He must get away with one every game, but you're right. He knows what's coming. He has to feel a little touch in his back, goes down, wins the free kick. He was hoping now it's one of those situations, a bit too far out to get a good swinging delivery in, but Just got to make sure you just crowd out at certain areas.
Pretty much a midpoint in the Preston half, just in from the near side touchline.
Great
Phillips
ball.
swings the ball into the penalty area, and it's over the heads of all those in the Leeds shirt, and it's headed clear as far at least as Alioski, and then again he loops another slightly unusual ball into the penalty area. It's an easy catch ultimately for Declan Rudd, and he throws out overarm to this near side to Rafferty, and Rafferty goes back in field to Pearson, and then Pearson back to keeper Rudd, and there was maybe just a glimmer of opportunity for Klich there as the ball ran back to the Preston keeper, so he chased it anyway, but it's dealt with well by Preston's keeper, and the ball ends up deep in Leeds territory as a result of his clearance, and it's a Preston throw-in out on the far side. The home supporters now find their voices as the ball goes down by the corner flag far side. It's run out of play, and that will be a Leeds goal kick, and it's good defending actually by Berardi. Just stayed off his man there, allowed him to make the mistake, and as a result Leeds had the chance to get the ball forward, certainly under possession at least, from a goal kick. Casilla looking for a little movement, not a lot on for him at the moment. He has two options either side, and he does go long ultimately, and up to Bamford, and Bamford's wrestled off the ball just inside the Preston half, fairly, according to the referee, by Ben Davies. And the ball comes over this near side touchline for a Leeds United throw-in. Ayling comes in field, having received the ball back from Dallas, and then plays the ball right-footed over the top for Bamford to chase down the near side touchline. Don't think he's going to keep that in play. He doesn't keep it in play. Nudges Ben Davies to the turf in the process, and as a result of that gets a little word from the referee. And then the ball is returned to Declan Rudd, and the game will resume with a goal kick. And Preston North End with this impressive home record this season. Played 6, won 5, drawn 1. They've been in good form here. So Leeds United know that there's a real tough evening ahead, and everything we've seen so far kind of underlines that fact. It's been a tight game. Leeds have probably had the better of the two, better of it just, and they have had the two half chances, both for Patrick Bamford. Trying to play out from the back again, Leeds. White's got to slide in, and he does well there actually, Ben White, to read that situation and to get in quickly ahead of the Preston man. Now Costa down the right hand side. For one moment there looked like Costa was going to get a run in, but instead of which the leg out at the final second from Joe Rafferty diverts the ball away from Costa and behind for a Leeds United corner kick.
Just injected his pace there, didn't he, Costa? He just thought he was going ahead of Rafferty. Great little flick by Klich. They're getting cornered from an outswinger from Calvin coming up.
So Calvin Phillips from the near side. Into the penalty area it goes, to the far side, and then again Bamford's there in space once more, and the header over the crossbar. I'd say that was a better chance than the last one, wasn't it? The last headed chance.
This time he's running onto the ball. I think the first occasion the ball's just slightly behind him. This header though, he's running straight onto it. He doesn't even have to kind of jump. And again, you've got to hit the target. I don't know if he's trying to be too precise, trying to find corners. But the set piece delivery from Calvin, yet again, fantastic. And like I said, I think the runners, they're trying to get across the near post, and I think they're trying to drag people to the far post, almost create that little kind of bubble in the centre of the goal. And that's where Patrick's found himself twice.
So Leeds are creating from corner kicks in a way that they struggled to do on Saturday, and Patrick Bamford's found himself in good space on 2 occasions now. 2 headers, one wide, one over the top. But encouraging signs hopefully for the rest of the game there, as Leeds United now find themselves back in their own half, indeed close to their own penalty area, because Preston have got a ball that they can throw in from the far side touchline. Fisher, the fullback, is there, takes it short to Browne. Browne down the line to Johnson. Johnson trying to beat Dallas in a challenge, doesn't manage to do that, but does come away with a throw-in, another throw-in for Preston, and he leaves the ball to Fisher. And Fisher, from a position almost midway between the byline and the edge of the area, and then the ball drops in the penalty box for the shot goalwards, which is blocked. And Leeds United were a little bit fortunate there, because there was space to work in inside the Leeds penalty area, and Preston didn't exploit it then, but maybe they'll try and do that now. Foul by Klich, no foul by Klich, and Leeds bring the ball away, much to the annoyance of the home supporters. Ayling up to the halfway line, now held Costa turns one way then the other, down the line to Patrick Bamford. Bamford plays the ball in square to Klich just outside the penalty area. There's Ayling just onside, back to Klich on the edge of the area. Now Stuart Dallas trying to work. There's some space on the edge of the box for Leeds United. Plenty of support in the penalty area. The pass is misplaced, and then ultimately Declan Rudd, in a bit of a panic, the Preston keeper slices the ball into touch on the far side.
Well, like the red arrows then, Bryn, those runners going everywhere, just trying to find that right pass. Unfortunately, just didn't have that little bit of composure or get his head up in time to see the right runner.
So Leeds United take the throw in out to the far side, and Alioski back to the halfway line to Berardi. Berardi sets off going forward again. Pass is intercepted by Harrison, and now Harrison into the penalty area, and there's a chance almost for Dallas and Bamford, and it's just spun away from Patrick Bamford off the body of Declan Rudd with a defensive challenger behind for a corner kick to Leeds. So close.
You can imagine putting yourself in Bamford's shoes there. His eyes must be lighting up as he thought the ball coming to him, but just couldn't quite get there. But almost kind of the goal on Saturday, Bryn. Jack Harrison just winning the ball back in the final third. His energy levels have been absolutely superb yet again. Almost a goal out of nothing. Unfortunately, the ball just didn't break quick enough to Bamford. The challenge came in again for another corner.
So encouraging signs for Leeds here. They are beginning to take control in this game. They're creating chances in this game. What can they do from this corner kick from Calvin Phillips into the area? This time it is headed clear, and indeed there's a foul committed on Pearson, I think, on the edge of the 6-yard box, and it will be a free kick to Preston North End and a chance for them to clear any danger. But the pressure has just begun to build in this game.
Yeah, and I always find when there's a decision where like the home fans thinking it should have been a goal kick, inevitably it's what the referee always blows for a foul, doesn't it, from the following corner. So they kind of bought one there, did Preston.
So the free kick will be taken almost on the penalty spot, and it's the keeper Declan Rudd who's going to take it for them. Right-footed, deep into Leeds territory, heads up from White. It's over the head of White and comes to the edge of the penalty area where Berardi waits. Berardi's ball goes straight into the path of Nugent and then out on the right-hand touchline. A little interplay that brings Johnson into the game, and then it's stuck on the far touchline. Now Fisher, and then back it comes in from Browne towards the edge of the penalty area. Good challenge coming in from Berardi, really good challenge from Berardi, and the ball is cleared up and over the halfway line, just away from Patrick Bamford there, and it's back with Declan Rudd, and he plays the ball short out the penalty area to Davies, and Davies plays it much longer, and just about keeps the ball in play on this near side does Daniel Johnson, and Ben White has to step in to take the ball off him, and then he clips the ball over the head of Johnson but also into touch. So Preston have a throw in, still in the Leeds half, well in the Leeds half, up towards the edge of the penalty area, and Nugent trying to turn away from the marking player Berardi, comes back out towards the edge of the area, and Johnson back on this near side to Gallagher, and then up towards the edge of the penalty area, and it comes back out for Pearson. The feet going in on the edge of the penalty area. Fisher's battling away in there, but ultimately the clearance is completed by Jack Harrison up towards the halfway line. Is that a foul by Patrick Bamford? The referee looks long and hard.
There's Bamford,
and gives nothing other than a throw into Leeds United.
Excellent.
And there's a Preston player down. Fisher on the far side is in trouble. The Leeds fans unhappy that the game has been stopped to allow him to receive treatment, but when it resumes it will be a Leeds United throw in. And the scoreline remains Preston North End 0, Leeds United 0. It's been tight, but Leeds have definitely shaded it in terms of chances created. Kiko Casilla has been pretty well protected so far. At the other end, Declan Rudd has seen two Patrick Bamford headers go either side of the post over the crossbar, and Bamford's gone close on a couple of other occasions as well. So definitely the attempts column favours Leeds United, the away team. In fact, you'd say the pattern of play almost follows that Leeds model, doesn't it? With Leeds building a platform, taking control, increasing amounts of possession, more and more chances created, and now the element that we want to see next is the goal go in. Is this the opportunity? A long ball forward which Bamford will he'll look at hopefully, but it was always going to be the defenders first there, and it's a definite clearance, a central defender's clearance, that straight to touch on the far side for a Leeds United throw in on the touchline. Alioski in possession, loses possession indeed, and then the ball is played over the head of Berardi, and White has to come across to help out his teammate, and he's pushed all the way back towards the corner flag, and he'll let the ball run out. Final touch being off a Preston player, and he read that situation well there, Ben White, because I think the Preston players assumed that when the ball went out it was going to be a corner kick.
That did very well. Initially just covering Berardi, because we ask our centre halves to get touch tight to strikers. In this case it was Nugent. So the space is always going to be behind you as a centre half, so you're relying on your partner to kind of cover those areas. And we've seen Ben White do it all season. He's just a Rolls Royce in that position.
Throw into Leeds United, just inside the Preston half, left hand side, in front of the dugouts. Short down the line, knocked back into the path of Harrison, and then cleared out into touch again. Another Leeds United throw in. And Casilla comes to retrieve the ball and get the game going again for Leeds. And Leeds are in that position where they'll want to keep things going now as we begin to head towards the half-time interval. Less than 15 minutes remaining of normal time in this first period. Matchday Live on LUTV, brought to you by Deliveroo Food Freedom. Calvin Phillips header, and the ball is up from Rafferty on the halfway line, and now Calvin Phillips does really well, gives the ball to Costa, back to Phillips again. Now Costa, now he can have a run. Hasn't had too many opportunities to get at defenders here. Now he's played Bamford in. Can Bamford keep the ball in? He can. Gets the ball into the penalty area from the byline, and it's headed clear and over the near side touchline for a Leeds United throw in. So Bamford playing down the channels there, quite wide really, to help Costa. So whilst he's out wide crossing them, he can't be in the penalty area converting them, but he is in that more traditional striker position now as Luke Ayling has the ball on this right hand side, tries to play a low ball into Stuart Dallas. It's cleared behind. It's another Leeds United corner kick, this time Johnson. Here's the man who diverts it over the line away to our right hand side, and Phillips again jogs forward with another opportunity to swing a ball into the penalty area. Just one man back in the centre circle for Leeds, Stuart Dallas, and beyond him Kiko Casilla, as the ball from Phillips comes into the near post, and it was a different delivery, and it almost worked as Berardi made a late run. It comes back out for Klich, and then Klich with a square ball on the edge of the centre circle to Dallas, and then Dallas further wide to Alioski, and Alioski has Harrison in support right out on the far touchline. Harrison has the ball now. Now he sets off on a run towards the edge of the penalty area. Gives the ball to Alioski. Alioski into the box, almost onto the head of Bamford. Comes back out towards the edge of the penalty area. And now an opportunity for Preston to clear. An opportunity that they take, with Bauer, the German, knocking the ball into touch on the far side. But the play is very much beginning to focus on certainly on the Preston half now, and increasingly on the Preston penalty area.
Just getting that sense we're just increasing the tempo a little bit in his passing, in his movement, and just feel like, as we've seen in plenty of away games this season, when we start doing that, we twist the screw, create chances.
Good turn by Bamford, edge of the penalty area, and it's Ben Davies who has to step in front of him to knock the ball behind for yet another Leeds United corner kick. And much like Saturday, the corner kick count is rising as we head towards half-time. Phillips again on this near side. We've seen balls dropped to the far post. We've seen balls dropped in towards the near post. On this occasion, it must be going long, because every player in a Leeds shirt is right on the far side of the penalty area. Again, Preston adopt the zonal positioning as it does go far side. It comes out to Costa, who volleys a dipping volley indeed, just over the crossbar.
Such a tough skill that, to get any decent contact on it, and he has done well, but to get it on target you're asking an awful lot of him. But no, just trying to mix the kind of movements up, like you mentioned there, Bryn. Everyone's kind of gone to the back post. One before that, darting runner, I think it was Klich getting across the front post. We're looking not to get ahead on it in that kind of zone, but like we did mention in the pre-commentary, in the build-up, have they been trying to practice mixing it up? And so far from Saturday, they have tried to mix the set pieces up a little bit.
Yeah, much better variety on the set pieces so far, and almost brought something. Leeds come again with the ball on the left-hand side touchline. Great close control by Alioski before he finally loses out to one of a clutch of players who are around him, and then suddenly the ball is played up, and Casilla has to react quickly as Nugent shuffles his way forward there, almost bustles between two Leeds United defenders right up towards the edge of the penalty area, and Kiko Casilla slid out almost with his knees, deflected the ball away from Nugent's run and out over the far side touchline for a Preston throw in. So a quick switch from defence to attack from the home team there. Potts has possession for them now, but Klich steps in to win it back for Leeds. Goes back towards the corner flag. Under pressure is Jack Harrison of all people, but Harrison does well to spin and get on the ball and get the ball as far forward as he possibly can, albeit at the cost of a throw into Preston. And in fact, although he got good distance on the ball, it crossed the far touchline pretty early on. So the ball is up on the edge of the Leeds penalty area now from the throw-in. Leeds win it back again though with Alioski on the run forward, pursued by the much taller figure of Brad Potts, signed from Barnsley in the summer. Potts gets a foot in on Alioski, and there's a little bit of afters between Alioski and another man who towers over him, Darnell Fisher. And Preston, once all that's calmed down, will have a throw in. Alioski's yellow card count has been rising in the opening weeks of the season. He's got to be careful. He's one away from a suspension, I think, isn't he? Ball on the far side, the far touch line with Alan Browne in possession for Preston. Down by the corner flag now. Good work down there though by Berardi to put pressure on, and Leeds, as a result of that pressure, get a throw in. And we head ever closer towards the end of the first 45 minutes. Preston North End 0, Leeds United 0. Long looping clearance up towards the halfway line. Preston win it back. Ayling then for Leeds in possession. Knocks the ball forward for Helder. Costa recovered after a slip, and then Ayling over the top, trying to pick out the run of Dallas maybe. But Ben Davies has read that, and he's played in Johnson in the centre circle, so Dallas is on the charge back to work defensively now. And Johnson with a short pass midway inside the Leeds half to Browne, and then it goes back to Bauer, and then Bauer onto his right foot from the halfway line. Switches play out towards the near side, and the header is won by Luke Ayling. And Preston gain a throw-in for themselves as a result of that header. And it's going to be taken by Rafferty. Rafferty on the near side touchline. Has a little wander down the line to gain a bit of distance towards the Leeds penalty area and gets the ball back after the throw-in. Rafferty with Costa in front of him turns to get the ball away from Costa, and then it's cleared by Berardi from the penalty area. Comes back out for Pearson. Costa again. Costa gives it back to Pearson. Scrappy period of play, but Leeds have the chance to break here now. Bamford in the centre circle. Runners streaking forward, but he can't make the pass, Patrick Bamford. Leeds lose possession, and Preston come again down the channel. Alan Browne with Phillips, and Phillips has done a brilliant job of defending that one. Stepped in front of Browne, stayed on his feet and won the ball back, and Leeds have possession as a result of that now. Out towards the left-hand side of the penalty area, and Berardi. What a prospect Calvin Phillips is. Ben White in possession for Leeds. Long ball forward looking for Costa. Can he get over the top? It almost comes off the head and out onto the near side for a Leeds United corner kick before Declan Rudd comes off his goal line, out of his penalty area, and clears the ball into touch almost off the byline. So Leeds instead get a throw in on this near side. The game is swinging from end to end just at the moment. Not too much by the way of chances created, but Leeds trying to do exactly that now with Ayling in possession temporarily because he leaves it out. It's a Preston throw in. Last touch off Ayling. Ref's assistant was right on the spot to call that one there, and the throw in will be taken by Rafferty on the near side, level with the edge of the Preston penalty area. Preston kicking towards the visiting supporters end in this first half. Leeds will be playing towards their own fans in the second half, and they'll be doing all they can to try and ensure that there's a goal to celebrate down that end. Still chance for Leeds in this first period though. Ayling with a looping header. Only Potts picks up for Preston, and then White has it for Leeds, and White forward to Bamford. Bamford trying to lay the ball off to Dallas, but he gets the ball off instead to Klich. Klich up towards the edge of the penalty area, into the penalty area, chips the ball up. Harrison far side, tees up for Alioski, just wide. Best move of the game from Leeds United. Up the tempo, Harrison with a good ball into the path of Alioski, and he dragged his shot no more than a yard wide of the far post.
You have to say, Bryn, it's fantastic football. Great build-up play yet again. Initially I thought Klich were going to strike it because the back four of Preston will keep backing off. A delightful little dink to the far post. Harrison lays it off first time. He was expecting that bottom corner to ripple, just dragged it the other side of the post. So unlucky.
So Leeds United again go close, but still waiting the first goal of the game. Luke Ayling is on the edge of the Leeds box now. The attempted clearance forward is not the best, so it's another job that needs doing by Ayling now as the ball comes back towards him again, and then it takes a hit off the shoulder of the Preston player, Barkhuizen, and it's going to be a Leeds United goal kick.
I don't know why everyone's moaning. It's a clear goal kick.
I think the home fans were a little disgruntled, but the last touch all pretty clearly came off the Preston player there. And we're inside the last 5 minutes now of the first period. Preston North End 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds have created the chances. Ayling on the halfway line. Can he create another infield to Klich? Klich does really well to switch play to Harrison, left hand side of the box. Opportunities here maybe for Jack Harrison, still with the ball at his feet, turns inside the defender and then tries to get the cross in. Fisher read it and got across it and played the ball behind for yet another Leeds corner kick. Wow, what pressure they are building here now.
Good play by Klich, just to see that man on. Someone wants to give him a shout, because I don't know how he saw him, but great vision to find Harrison.
He's always there, isn't he?
Yeah, he holds his width really well, does Harrison. He always has that option for a midfield player to zip it out there.
So can Leeds make one of these pay? 4 or 5 players lined up on the penalty spot for Leeds United. As the ball comes in now, heads go up, he comes out to the near side of the penalty area and Costa back out towards the edge of the box, and Alioski, and it takes a deflection and it's turned goalwards, and the flag is up near side as Ben White it was who was the furthest man forward for Leeds. I don't think it was White who was offside actually, was it? Rudd actually held onto the ball anyway, so it wouldn't have counted even had it gone in.
No, the deflection did help, because we were right behind, sat behind the cross from Alioski. Did take a little nick straight into the path of Ben White, but I'd say it must have been very close for an offside, that.
Well, the linesman definitely flagged near side, but play resumed with the ball in the goalkeeper's hands. So the ball wasn't put down on the ground at any point, but can only assume it was an offside. So Leeds United definitely done much better with the corner kicks in this game. Seen much more variety in what they've done with them so far. All taken by Calvin Phillips, but all into different areas. Maybe the zonal marking setup of Preston is helping a little bit on that basis as well, because there does seem to be, when Leeds have the chance to get the ball into the penalty area, a lot of space in there for players to operate. At the other end of the park, Leeds have another goal kick, and Casilla moves the ball from the far side of the 6-yard box to a position right in the middle of the 6-yard box. He has the 2 standing defenders either side of him as options for the short goal kick that you're allowed to take these days. Then Berardi moves out the penalty area, White stays where he is, and Casilla goes long anyway. Bamford can't get off the ground because Davies was all over his back. Nothing wrong with that challenge apparently, and the ball goes down the right hand channel for Brad Potts on the edge of the Leeds penalty area, forced away from the box by Alioski's presence, so gives it to Fisher, who's in support. Now Fisher is forced back towards the halfway line by Klich, and it's good pressure, and it results in a Leeds. Surely it's a Leeds United throw-in. Well, it's given the other way.
Surely.
Referee hadn't got a clue, needed his assistant, but I suspect they've still got it wrong, to be honest with you, because although we're a long way from it, we've got a good line on it, and it did look like the final touch came off the Preston man.
Well, I think they've done here, Bryn, because they could see we're going to take a quick throw-in. They knew it was ours, but they didn't want to get themselves backed into a corner as officials by taking a quick throw-in, and Preston have just stood still and watched it. It's a baffling decision, that.
And Leeds have got to defend another throw-in now in a more advanced position, because the ball's gone down the touchline. This time less confusion between referee and assistant, and it was a more straightforward call. So Preston have the chance to get the ball into the Leeds penalty area, up towards the edge indeed of the Leeds penalty area, with Nugent in possession. The ball then is cleared behind for a corner kick to Preston North End. So as we move in towards the final few seconds of the first period, it's Preston North End who have the opportunity to try and set something up from a set piece. And Alan Browne, the skipper, has gone across to the far side to take the corner kick for them. He's got lots to aim at in and around the edge of the penalty area. Standing short is Costa. Ball goes over Costa's head towards the edge of the 6-yard box. The looping header goalwards comes in from Ben Davies. No trouble at all there for Casilla, and he's happy just to turn his head, look over his shoulder and see the ball looping over the crossbar. And Leeds have a goal kick as a result of that. Again, Casilla has White to his right, Berardi to his left, and again he goes long over the halfway line onto the head of Bamford, who wins the flick to Costa. Costa in a central position. Harrison was out wide if he could find him, but a good defensive challenge was made by Rafferty. And then the ball is played into the Leeds half, and Ayling's had to react quickly to that one because there was a glimmer of a chance there.
He's done excellent
on the forward run from Barkhuizen, and it's a really good piece of defensive play from Luke Ayling, as Ben Parker suggests. And then Leeds try and get going down the left-hand touch line. The ball is too short to Jack Harrison though, so they have to start again with Phillips, who's fouled, but play is allowed to continue because Phillips had kept possession for Leeds. Then a long ball, and Costa's making a run on the near side. Can Costa keep the ball in play? Yes, he can, just on the byline. A lot of work to do to get it back towards the penalty area though. Plays a little ball into Klich, and Klich had the chance to cross there, but he stopped. He held the ball up instead, and Leeds have the ball outside of the Preston penalty area, and they've overworked that one rather between Costa and Klich, and they didn't take an opportunity that presented itself to get the ball into the penalty area. And now as a result, Phillips, who's fouled by Nugent. Leeds have to start again from inside their own half. That was a bit of a tired foul, I would have said, from David Nugent there. Phillips had turned away from him, so he just grabbed at his shirt and pulled him down to the ground. So Leeds do come now with the ball down the left-hand side. Again, just a little short of Harrison, but waiting behind Harrison is Dallas. Now Harrison does have it. Down by the corner flag, left-hand side for Leeds United. Back into the path of Dallas. Chance to cross now. Curls the ball in. Bamford's in space! And it's just a little over the head of Patrick Bamford, maybe. He just slightly mistimed the jump there. But all of a sudden it opened up in front of the Leeds striker, and then it carried over his head and went behind.
It wasn't even the person I had my eye on. It was Luke Ayling coming in behind him as the build was playing on that far left-hand side, but you could just see Luke, he was trying to gamble, get into the back stick, just couldn't quite get there. But so unlucky. Dallas linking up well with Jack Harrison, because we saw on Saturday Dallas were playing really wide on this right-hand side for a central midfield kind of area. Seems to have drifted down to the left-hand side for today.
One added minute. Didn't think there was going to be much. The game has zipped along at a good pace so far this evening. And Preston North End, as we move into that final minute, have a throw-in on the far side, and then Leeds United have a throw-in on the far side. And when they actually get that throw-in awarded them by the ref's assistant over on that touchline, he gets a huge and ironic cheer from the travelling supporters, who obviously feel not enough has been going their way thus far. There's another Leeds United throw-in that gets an even bigger roar of appreciation from the travelling Leeds United supporters.
Oh, you gotta love him, haven't you, Bryn?
So I think that's his card well and truly marked, isn't it, in terms of his performance thus far. Leeds United throw-in midway inside their own half. Last few seconds of this first period. Movement in front of Alioski, and then the touch that comes in from Harrison is the last touch of the first period. Referee blows the whistle. Two sides head off towards the tunnel in the far side of the ground, with applause from both sets of supporters. And Leeds, I'm guessing, a bit happier, or maybe frustrated that they haven't converted chances into goals.
No, I think the performance levels have been there yet again. I think we've been rock solid at the back. We've covered for each other, put us right bodies to the right places, and limited Preston to near enough nothing. But then on the flip side, going forward, you'd probably say a bit more than half chances, a bit less than full chances. But what I would say is the positions we have got into test the keeper more, because I don't think their keeper's probably had a save to make, or definitely not a meaningful one anyway. But as a away performance so far, I think we've been good. Kind of started out almost like a typical championship game, a midweek one where people are scrapping away, fighting for the second balls. But as soon as that kind of died down, a bit of quality in the game has come from ourselves. But like we said there, the chances, kind of half, three-quarter chances we'll call them, try and test the keeper out a bit more.
And that the need is there to maintain momentum right in through this second period now, isn't it? Maybe there's been a dip off a little bit on a couple of occasions recently, but keep it going, make more chances, and something surely will come.
Definitely, and the manager was quite critical in the second half performance from Saturday. He thought the levels did drop off. More just the intensity from my point of view what was Saturday, but no, the players they should be full of confidence. The second in the table coming into tonight, so look, keep the same energy levels high. And like you say, keep playing the same way, the chances will keep coming even more, and hopefully we can take one of those.
We certainly hope so. So, first half has ended here. The two teams have departed the playing surface, and the half-time scoreline here at Deepdale is Preston North End 0, Leeds United 0. Created a number of chances in the first half, only one shot on target. So they need to go just one better than that in this second period. Maintain the momentum, keep playing the possession football, keep a grip on the game and convert at least one chance. Leeds start the second half kicking towards the visiting supporters, gathered in huge numbers away to our left-hand side.
Mentioning those fans there bring behind the goal, they can help us massively this second half.
And they're watching as Leeds attack now. The ball is played along the byline actually from the right-hand side of the penalty area by Luke Ayling, and it bounces all the way along that byline and into the hands of Declan Rudd, the Preston goalkeeper. But yeah, as Ben says, the Leeds roar from behind the goal could be worth something in this second half. Preston attacking at the other end, but Calvin Phillips wins the ball and does well to run past one and two challenges and carries the ball on forward to Harrison on his left hand side. Jack Harrison head down, runs towards the edge of the penalty area, and the intervention from Brad Potts takes the ball behind for the first corner kick of the second half. Leeds have started off at a real lick here.
Certainly haven't. Calvin, heartbeat of it, playing obviously that goal on Saturday. Leeds lad, centenary game, must have given him a massive boost. It's so vital to how we play.
Phillips takes the corner kick for Leeds, and now he does go to the edge of the penalty area, and the shot is driven in low, and it comes back for Alioski a second time, and the second shot is driven wide, and Leeds players protest and say that took a deflection on its way out, but Alioski had popped into a brilliant area of space just on the edge of the penalty area. Well, we've gone from fairly predictable corner kicks on Saturday afternoon to the absolute opposite this evening. Leeds really imaginative in the way that they're taking these set pieces. That one was a ball played right out towards the edge of the penalty area. First player stepped over the ball, and Alioski had a chance to drive goalwards as a result of that.
Love the move, just love the brightness of it. It just epitomises the start we've made. I know we're only a couple of minutes into it now with the second half, but we've started ever so bright on the front foot.
And Leeds have the ball back again, near side. Alioski plays the ball in field to Matthias Klich, and Klich turns and plays a short pass to Phillips, and then Phillips goes back to Berardi, and Berardi with a longer ball switches the play out towards, or tries to switch the ball out towards the right hand side. Costa, it's been a tough night for Costa so far, trying to find a bit of space to work in, trying to get himself the opportunity to do what I think he likes doing, which is having a real run at opponents. That opportunity's not really presented itself yet this evening.
I think as a player, you just need to stay patient with it. As wingers, you can get a little bit frustrated if the service hasn't been into your feet, so you can get on the half turn, have a run at the full back. But like I say, patience is key for him. Just keep offering your width. They might only get that one opportunity to run at the full back, and when you do that, got to take your chance then.
Preston North End have a throw-in on the halfway line. Down the line it goes, easily won back though, and carried forward by Ben White. He chips the ball over the top. Well, it's a hopeful one for Jack Harrison to chase, but even Harrison's presence and his pace really panics Fisher, and Fisher as a result wastes no time in just lofting the ball straight into touch on the near side, and then there's a bit of a post-mortem between him and his teammates as to why he did that. Now Leeds have the ball with Harrison coming in from the touchline, now to Alioski, edge of the penalty area, tries to play the ball back. Dallas is in a bit of space, he tries to get a low cross in, and Fisher gets a foot to it and blocks, but the clearance is only as far as Phillips. Phillips out towards the near side, and Klich works it onto his right foot, then swings the ball in, almost finds Bamford, comes out to the penalty area, edge of the penalty area, and Ayling into the penalty area, overruns the ball, and Johnson's there, and rather desperate defending from the home team as Leeds had bodies all over the place then, everybody wanting to get involved in that attack, and they can come again now. What a start to the second half this is from Leeds United. Phillips with the ball over the top, can Harrison keep it in? No, not quite. Lucky. That would have been a fantastic ball. It was just slightly too powerful for Jack Harrison to get on the end of.
But you have to say though, this start of the second half compared to the whole of the second half on Saturday, completely different team. The energy levels are there. All I would say is now, can we capitalise on it? Because we're doing everything right. Just create that clear-cut chance, take it, and so far we'd say we'd have to deserve that goal.
Berardi with an overhead kick almost on the halfway line for Leeds, headed into touch again by Fisher, who's had a bit of a streaky start to the second half, the Preston right back. And Leeds have another throw in, and Klich is happy to go back into his own half to Berardi, and Berardi with the square ball to White, and then White has an option further wide, and it's down the line from Alioski, but he's misplaced the pass, and Costa's trying to win it back for Leeds, and he does win it back for Leeds. And the advantage is, there's two fouls there. That's a Brad Potts challenge, which is over the top on Klich, who spins away from the challenge, but he's back on his feet quickly, and I think Klich has really helped Brad Potts out there.
Done him a favour, hasn't it?
Yeah, because if he'd stayed down, there was a card coming, wasn't there?
100%, because I think he's just gone over the ball. I don't think it was intentional from Potts, but no, you're right, Klich has done him a favour.
And Klich has possession now. On the right foot, plays the ball out towards the far side touchline, where Ayling waits and controls. Costa on the run, but Dallas it is who gets the ball on the byline. Pushed out towards the corner flag by two Preston players. Must surely have won a corner kick there. No, he hasn't. The last touch somehow spins presumably back onto the toes of Stuart Dallas, right over on the far side from where we're watching, right up on the back row of the main stand here at Preston on the halfway line. And Declan Rudd will take the goal kick that results for Preston North End, looking to go 7 unbeaten here at home at the start of this season. Ball out towards the near side touchline. Berardi for Leeds, back into his own penalty area for Ben White, and then White, right-footed ball. Costa can't win the header, so he'll have to turn and chase the ball out towards the far side touchline. It rolls over the touchline, so a Preston throw in. It's not really the sort of service that Costa's looking for, that, is it? Not known, I don't think, for his aerial ability necessarily.
Not unless you're 8 foot tall, mate. I don't think it is.
He wants the ball on the ground, doesn't he?
Certainly does. But going back to Berardi, Bryn, I thought on Saturday he didn't put a foot wrong, and so far this game he's looked really assured, composed, just solid defending, doing the basics well.
Pushing the back of Costa, who does win that header, and as a result the ball is cleared into touch on the far side, and Leeds United will have a throw in just inside their own half. And Ben White thinks about taking it back towards Berardi, and then he's told he can take it much further forward, so he rolls the ball up the far side touch line, and the throw in actually ultimately will be in Preston's half. Players moving around. Costa gets the ball back off Ayling, comes back for White, then who swings a right foot at, and swings a brilliant ball out towards this near side touchline, and Harrison, who can run in from the near side touchline now towards the penalty area. This time Fisher does a really good job on Harrison and steps in and beats him, and then he carries the ball past Calvin Phillips, and he continues his run deep into Leeds half. Harrison comes back at him, Fisher goes to ground, referee says play on. Good refereeing there from Kevin Friend, and Leeds ultimately would say that was great defending. Preston win the ball back though from a poor clearance, and then it's hooked forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Berardi's there waiting for Leeds. Alioski now has possession, and he's just nudged the ball into touch. He was trying to find teammate Harrison, slightly got that one wrong. Preston throw in, level with the edge of the Leeds penalty area. Fisher, who began that forward movement for Preston with the breakout, will take the throw in for them now. Little word said by Kevin Friend to Gianni Alioski. Not sure what the issue is down there, but no more than a ticking off, maybe that's too strong a phrase for it. Preston restart the game with a throw in into the edge of the penalty area. Nugent, who hooks it goalwards, up in the air it goes, tempting. Surely a push there on Luke Ayling. He looks long and hard at the ref, nothing given, and the ball is up on the edge of the Leeds penalty area, and Phillips with a prodigious leap makes contact with the ball, but Preston end up winning it back and curl the cross in now. Potts was waiting, good header clear from Berardi on the edge of the area. Leeds have a chance to clear now through Costa. They take that opportunity, and it's on to Bamford. Bamford will try and put pressure on at the other end, but Ben Davies gets there ahead of him, and then it's a free kick. Is it to Leeds?
Offside.
Yeah, offside decision. It was the player moving back into an onside position from an offside position, as indicated by the ref's assistant near side, so Leeds have the free kick.
Certainly can't question the energy levels or kind of the sloppiness of our play so far. The time when we have to give the ball away with Harrison, the hunted in packs to win the ball back.
Dallas and Pearson both tussle for the ball there. Dallas had it initially, Pearson stepped in front of him, and it's Pearson who gets the free kick. Man who's had his disciplinary problems, Ben Pearson, particularly last season. when the card count against him, both yellow and red, was pretty spectacular. It's a problem that he's had to try and address to make sure that he plays more football. 14 yellow and 3 red last season. As the ball comes up towards the edge of the Leeds penalty area, heads go up in there. It's a scrappy period of play, and then it's hooked away up towards the halfway line. And Bamford again has to come back and do a bit of almost defensive work to try and get things back for Leeds. Nugent then with a ball in. It's come into the penalty, and it's across the face of goal from Barkhuizen on the far side. And it's lucky for Leeds that nobody in a white shirt had got there in time, because that was right across the 6-yard box, and it carried all the way to the far side of the penalty area without anybody applying any sort of touch to it.
The first time all night we've kind of hesitated, almost wanting someone else to kind of clear the danger instead of someone taking the initiative and clearing the ball themselves. Very nearly Preston just nicked in, but no, the crowd have responded to that. After our great start, you could see Preston just trying to claw the way back into it.
As Klich, ball loops off his upper chest and carries up towards the Preston penalty area from where it's cleared, and then Ayling has it back for Leeds, and then Costa turns away from 2 challenges. Done well there, Costa, now down the right hand side, but it's too far ahead of Ayling, and it's cleared into touch over on the far side. So once more the game is swinging from one side to the other. Leeds started the second half really well. We've had Preston moments, and now Leeds United trying to go on the attack again with the ball on the far side. Dallas to Ayling. Ayling with a chance to cross. Low ball in. Easy clearance for Ben Davies, but Leeds have it back. And it's Alioski outside the penalty area. He lifts one up for Bamford. Bamford held by the marking defender. No, says the referee. Ayling back into the penalty area again. Over the header. Dallas Harrison arrives late. And Harrison's shot diverted into the side netting. And that was a good opening for Leeds United. Jack Harrison with a defensive presence close to him probably just did enough to put him off there.
Probably did. I think that's the only thing that kind of went against Jack Harrison. Delightful little clip to the back post. Just dug it out, trying to put into an area. Unfortunately, just couldn't quite get his effort on target.
Goal kick is cleared up into the Leeds half. Push on Calvin Phillips. Leeds have a free kick, much to David Nugent's disappointment. The very experienced Preston North End striker in his second spell with the club. Last season he was at Derby. Got on in the playoff games about which we don't talk. And Leeds United through Ben White down the far side touchline. It's allowed to run by Costa, and Dallas is waiting behind him to pick up possession for the away side. Dallas down the butt line to Costa. Now Costa can deliver across into the penalty area, and it almost comes into the path of the oncoming Klich, and then it's cleared away, and now Johnson can break for Preston over the halfway line. Going wide is Barkhuizen. Barkhuizen up towards and into the Leeds penalty area. Strong run this. Defender White stays with it. Barkhuizen slips to the ground, and the referee stayed with it. Did well there, Kevin Friend. Watched it all the way, and the Preston player stays down, but the play will restart with a goal kick to Leeds United.
You have to say, Bryn, for any young up-and-coming defender, centre-half, get that clip and show what Ben White's done there. Didn't commit. He was always in control, always wanted to show him down onto Ben White's right-hand side, get him away from the goal. Like I say, didn't dive in. Top-class defending was that.
I'll have a look at that later.
I thought you're a centre midfielder now, you're telling me, Bryn.
Oh, anywhere, left side midfield, you name it. Utility.
Do any job for the team, wouldn't you?
Jack of all trades.
Master of...
None. Particularly if it involves a left foot. Goal kick to Leeds United, which Kiko Casilla takes, right-footed. Over the head of Bamford again. He's been trying to get the better of Ben Davies throughout the second half, but the Preston centre-half is enjoying the better of it at the moment. Difficult for Bamford when he's facing the ball coming towards him, and Davies is attacking it. And then an easy ball for Fisher to clear, but again just gets the clearance a little bit wrong and nods it straight into touch on this near side, when probably did have the opportunity to direct the ball to a teammate. So Leeds have a throw in Preston's half. Alioski near side touchline, and Alioski goes all the way back as the doors are closed in front of him to Berardi, and Berardi goes back to Casilla, and Casilla goes wide to the right hand side, and Ayling midway inside Leeds half. Over the top from Ayling. Again Bamford's up there. This time the header is a little misdirected and it carries over the far side touchline. First time he'd actually managed to get away from Davies on. When he did do that, he couldn't really get the header into an area where there was a Leeds shirt. So Leeds have to wait for a Preston throw in from the far side. For the first time this evening, probably a bit of movement on the far side touchline. Preston subs are warming up over there, and I wonder whether Marcelo Bielsa is considering a change himself, just to change things, really. I guess that's the obvious, isn't it? But the Nketiah options there, although all in all, you'd say at the moment what Leeds need to do is to gain possession of the ball and start creating the chances again.
Yeah, and I think, Bryn, any time we do inject that little bit of tempo, that little bit of quality into the game, you seem to find Preston, they are a little bit worried. We can carve them open. But no, you're right, the options are there on the bench. Nketiah, Tyler Roberts, another player as well, who's looked sharp when he's come off the bench last few games. So, no, the options are there to change if we do need to.
Alioski. It's a poor ball, really, to Alioski. Didn't give him a great chance, and Brad Potts is stronger than him, and he wins possession for Preston midway inside the Leeds half. Now, there's a bit of pace about this attack from Preston, but the cross is really poor. It's hit with the outstep then. It's straight into the hands of Casilla, who wastes no time in throwing the ball up to the halfway line. Now Bamford finds space as the marking defender slips, and Bamford has the chance to push forward to Costa, and Costa can have a run at the defender on the far side. Now is Barkhuizen helping out the defence. It's played into the penalty area by Costa, and Potts is back there to head clear. Now it comes out to Klich on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Klich with a chance to cross, maybe. First opportunity, he hesitates and waits, trying to create another one for himself. Now Harrison has the chance. Harrison just outside the area, plays the ball up to the edge of the box, and Alioski trying to work space under pressure though from Fisher. So will he come back to Harrison? Yes, he will. Harrison plays it in low, and then it's just behind Klich. And again, Leeds, well, you've got to credit their patience in that position. They're just trying to find the gap, but the gap didn't exist. And credit Preston, I guess, for making sure that they stayed at it and denied Leeds the opportunity just to find some room in that area. Can they find some now? I think that's too long for Costa. The ball is played down the channel. He won't catch that one, quick though he may be, and it goes behind for a goal kick.
It was almost like we're trying to create the perfect pass, the perfect opening. I just think in those situations, just flash a ball across the face of the goal, stand across up, just do something where you don't have to be so perfect, because I think for Preston they were just dragged out of position ever so slightly, and we had committed bodies forward either into the box or on the edge. I say trying to score the perfect, almost like a five-a-side type of goal. Just do something off the cuff.
52 minutes gone in the second half. Preston North End 0, Leeds United 0. Matchday live on LUTV, brought to you by Deliveroo Food Freedom. Ball cleared up into the Leeds half. Klich with a header back towards his own penalty area. It's won by Berardi, and then Phillips, and back to Berardi again. And Berardi doesn't have too many options. Plays the ball into Harrison, and Harrison is beaten to it by Pearson, and then Fisher for Preston, and then Johnson is brought into play. Preston playing inside Leeds half now. Now Davies comes up from the central defensive position, plays the ball up to the edge of the penalty area. Ayling can't take it away from Barkhuizen. Comes back out to the edge of the box, into the box now. Heads go up in there. Berardi does really well to get touch on that one, and it's cleared away by Phillips, and it comes back into the edge of the penalty area. Berardi again, and a bit of pressure from Preston, and then Pearson goes to ground. The referee looks at it and gives nothing. He's been pretty lenient, Kevin Friend. He's let the game flow. Bamford beaten to it in the air by Bauer, and then over the top from Johnson. The home fans liking what they're seeing at the moment as Berardi heads back really well under pressure to Casilla, and Casilla's prevented from delivering the ball out quickly by David Nugent, who puts arms around him in a kind of matey way, but definitely that was to prevent the quick throw out, wasn't it?
Styled it out with a hug in the end, didn't he?
But the ball goes back to Casilla again. This time he plays the ball off the floor, gets a little too much air underneath it maybe. Harrison against Fisher. Fisher goes to ground, and the referee says that Harrison had given him a nudge in the back. I'm not entirely sure that is what happened.
He just misjudged it.
Yeah, that's what I think happened. But then I guess we're watching it from a certain perspective.
Maybe.
And Leeds United will have to defend a free kick. It's right on the halfway line, literally a yard maybe inside the Leeds United half on this near side, just in from the touch line. And it will be Bauer, the former Stuttgart Maritimo Charlton player, who takes it right-footed, just loops it up towards the far side where Luke Ayling wins it in the air for Leeds. Bamford comes into his own half. It drops onto the chest of Costa. Costa quickly closed down, knocks the ball straight into touch, under pressure from Browne. And it will be a throw into Preston on the halfway line. And at the moment, it's the home side who are just edging it, in terms of possession at least.
No, they've certainly had that a better 5 minutes from their point of view, without really kind of troubling us. They've obviously got the crowd involved. They're just trying to fight for every little ball. Second balls yet again that we mentioned in the first half. The great pressure from Patrick Bamford. Just something like that can give you that little bit of spark yet again.
Well, the pressure pays for Leeds there as the ball is played back towards the Preston penalty area, and Declan Rudd has to race out the goal and out the box and clear the ball into touch over on the far side, right down by the corner flag. The ball's not yet been returned, so there's a little bit of a delay in proceedings here. Fourth official now rolls one down the touchline. So Luke Ayling has the chance. Could he deliver this one long? It looks like that's the idea, because there aren't too many players in close to Ayling. Well, now there is a player, and it's Klich, and he comes short and he gets the ball off Ayling, gets the ball back to Ayling onto the right foot, crosses over the head of Harrison in the penalty area. Put a bit too much height on that one, did Luke Ayling, when that's an area in which Leeds are not particularly blessed, particularly in that penalty box. And so the ball carries all the way out over the near side touchline for a Preston throw, and the referee does take action. There's been quite a lot of instances of that so far this evening, where the Preston players have just strayed 6, 7, 8 yards further forward from where the ball went out. And finally Kevin Friend has decided to clamp down, and Fisher is sent back down the line, and the throw-in is won back by Leeds. Harrison infield to Klich, and then Alioski up towards the edge of the box, and Bamford forced away from the box. Dallas though helps him out with a shot goalwards, takes a deflection and loops up kindly into the chest of Declan Rudd. It's an easy catch for the Preston keeper, and then he takes a long kick out, drops all the way almost on the edge of the Leeds penalty area, and it's won well by Berardi, and then picked up by Phillips, and Phillips goes wide to Costa. Costa trying to wrestle his way past one challenge, manages to do just that, goes past the second challenge, still going, held to Costa now up towards the edge of the penalty area. What can he do with the ball at his feet? Klich, chance to cut it back, goal! Jack Harrison awaiting at the far post, and somehow Leeds got the angles wrong there. Patrick Bamford, well, I think he was trying to divert it towards goal, and it spun away from him, and it ends up going out over the near side touchline for a throw-in.
You have to say, Helder Costa's initially done superbly on the right-hand side. There were 2-3 times you thought he was going to give the possession away, but he just fought to win it back, broke down the right-hand side, and it was Klich. Great little cut back. He was thinking, expecting back of the net to ripple. Fortunately, Jack Harrison, I don't think he could quite get there, or he hesitated for that split second. And at the end of the day, his shot ended up going out for a throw. But just need to start converting these moments now, because yeah, we've had a few in the game where we've looked kind of dangerous, getting to dangerous positions. We have to start trying to convert one or two of them.
Harrison, who's probably looked Leeds' most threatening attacking player so far, gets the ball back to the keeper, and then it goes from Casilla up to the halfway line. Ayling does Ayling thought he'd done well in shrugging off the challenge of Barkhuizen, but in knocking him over, he's committed a foul according to the referee, and so that's a free kick to Preston on the halfway line as we head into the final quarter of this game at Deepdale. Preston North End 0, Leeds United 0. Preston free kick to be taken by leading scorer Daniel Johnson, and Johnson with the left foot ball. Well, he hesitates, and now he does strike the ball up towards the penalty area, into the penalty area. Heads go up in there, the header forward is from Bauer, but it carries behind for a goal kick to Leeds, and Kiko Casilla goes behind the goal to retrieve the ball and just start to see a bit more activity around the Leeds penalty area. And you hear the Eddie roar from the away supporters, which suggests that maybe they feel the time is right to unleash Eddie and Nketiah in this second half. At the same time, they then sing Patrick Bamford's name just to lift him. Maybe I can understand that, because from Bamford's perspective, I guess he spends the second half looking over his shoulder a little bit to see when Nketiah comes out to warm up, knowing that imminently he's probably going to go off.
Well, from the chant there, maybe throw both of them on, give them a run, see what they're like together, because good players always find a way to play with each other, surely, and the skills that Bamford has will certainly complement what Eddie Nketiah has with his movement down the side and his instinctiveness in front of the goal.
Bamford gets a little flick onto Costa. Can Costa return the favour to Bamford? Not quite, as it turns out. Bamford will put pressure on Rudd on the edge of the penalty area. The Preston goalkeeper bounces off Patrick Bamford there, and Patrick Bamford stays calm and everything's okay, and Rudd's back on his feet, and the ball's right up the other end actually, and it's gone into touch on the far side. It's actually going to be a Leeds free kick just in from the touchline. No, it's not. It's a Leeds throw-in. Luke Ayling thought it was a free kick, and the referee told him differently. So it's a throw-in to Leeds. It's taken to Dallas. Short goes back to Ayling. Ayling's under a bit of pressure, so Leeds clear out from the corner flag with Ben White into the centre circle where only Fisher waits for Preston, and he plays the ball back into the Leeds half. Over the head it goes of Luke Ayling, and out forward. This is definitely a Leeds throw-in, midway inside the Leeds half, and it's that period of the game now, entering a crucial period. What do you do here? Do you stick with what you've got, happy with the potential point, or do you really go for the jugular and see if you can claim all three? Ball's in the centre circle, played out wide for Harrison, can't quite keep it in play. Unfortunate that Alioski just put a bit too much power in the pass, and an opportunity is spurned there for Leeds to try and create something in a bit of space on this near side. So Preston will have the throw in, but only after the first change of the evening is made. So David Nugent goes off, and David Nugent gets a decent round of applause from the home supporters. Hasn't had too much by way of a sniff at goal this evening. Scored plenty of goals throughout his career, but not really anything being too close for him tonight.
And coming on, please welcome number 24, Maguire.
So Maguire comes on to replace Nugent, Irish international for an English international.
Now you have to say Ben White, Berardi have done excellently against Nugent, but with Maguire coming on now, he'll offer something slightly different to what Nugent does. So you just can't think, oh, we've kind of done our job with him, we can relax. Got to stay bang on it now.
Berardi shows that Phillips gets a kick in the head from Browne there. He stooped into a header admittedly, but it was still a high foot from Alan Browne, and right in front of the ref's assistant near side. Phillips is okay, clutched his hands to his head initially, but Leeds get the free kick, and Phillips is recovered, and he's gone to resume his place in midfield, and Leeds take a short free kick to Berardi. Just get the sense this is a bit of a lull before an onslaught, either from one side or the other potentially. Down the line it goes for Leeds to attack maybe. Header from Davies. Is it going to carry over the far touchline? No. Rafferty keeps it in play. And then there's a challenge on Ayling, who's flattened surely for Leeds United. Yeah, that's the verdict, as he attempted to go for the header there. Knocked to the ground. Leeds have the free kick just inside their own half. How long before and if we see a Leeds United change? Free kick taken short again. It goes back to Ben White. Ben White, right foot ball, spins the ball forward. It's intercepted by Bauer, and then Dallas is underneath it with a looping header forward. Alioski easily beaten in the air by the much taller Bauer, but Klich does well in the centre circle, holds the ball up for Leeds. Now they have it back with Ben White. Ben White forced further back up to the halfway line. Pearson does a good job on Dallas, and Johnson knocks the ball forward for Brad Potts. Brad Potts pushed away from goal initially, at least by Alioski. Johnson helps him out. Now Browne just outside the Leeds penalty area. He's pursued by Berardi, so he goes back to Pearson, and it's Klich who comes across and does really well there, Klich, to win the ball back for Leeds, and they can maybe build a break from this one as Stuart Dallas goes through the middle for Leeds United, looking to chip a ball up now. Comes to Klich on the edge of the penalty area. Klich out to this near side. Alioski to drive, and it's blocked as it was maybe heading goalwards there from Gianni Alioski. Great break from Leeds, and they come again now. Harrison on the left foot. Alioski waits in all sorts of space near side. He has the chance to cross the ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. There's nobody waiting there for Leeds, and only Browne for Preston. And Browne plays a quick ball, and it's a good ball forward for Maguire. And Maguire is into the edge of the Leeds penalty area, right hand side. And there's a man waiting in the middle. And Preston through Barkhuizen take the lead. A swift break from one end to the other. And Maguire, the sub, squares for Barkhuizen in space. And he really can't miss. Preston 1, Leeds 0.
It's almost gone from one end of the pitch where we're thinking we might take the lead ourselves. Alioski had the shot, but for some reason we're just so spread out at the back. The first play to Preston, a bit of good work down this right hand side, got him behind us. I have to feel sorry for Ben White because he tried to delay his kind of run across the covering run, but he had no chance really stopping the cross. Simple finish for Maguire at the far post, and like I say, just unfortunate because we're on the front foot looking to get that goal. It will have sucker punched the wrong end.
So Leeds United have it all to do here now with 15 minutes of this game remaining. And it's a bit of a blow, that, because as Ben points out, Leeds have been building something at one end, there had been opportunities at one end, and then they were really swiftly undone by what was a precision break from Preston North End. And it's a familiar feeling for Leeds in terms of these away games now, having come into this one off the back of 2 defeats on the road, behind again here late on at Preston. Ben White in possession, as the home fans most definitely have found their voices now. Berardi forward to Dallas, and then Dallas back to Ben White. And White goes out on the right hand side to Luke Ayling. And Luke Ayling to Costa, and back to Ayling again. And now Dallas, infield it goes for Klich. Klich up towards the edge of the penalty area, into the penalty area. Harrison's underneath it, again Fisher's taller, and the ball carries out to Alioski, at least near side. Back in from Alioski, that's into a great position. Bamford arriving, but not quite in time to make contact, and the ball is flicked out over the far side touchline for a Leeds United throw in. Leeds have got to pile it on now in the remaining 15 or so minutes of this second half. Ball out on the far side touchline. Klich has possession for Leeds United. Klich goes back to Calvin Phillips. Phillips out wide to Ayling. Ayling on the far side infield to Dallas. Does really well to hold off Potts. Finds room for the shot just over the top. And Stuart Dallas runs his fingers through his hair there. It wasn't a million miles away, but I think Declan Rudd always felt that that was going to go over. Now Leeds are going to make a double change here. On the far side, looks like Tyler Roberts and Eddie Nketiah both coming on. And the intention is quite clearly to throw more men forward in these closing stages to try and claw something back from this game. So Berardi is taken off, and Tyler Roberts comes on nominally to replace him.
I think with that, Ayling's going to go centre half, Dallas back to right back.
So yeah, a little bit of a reshape already taking place. And then Patrick Bamford jogs off towards the near side touchline. His evening's over, and Bamford will be replaced by Eddie Nketiah. So the man who got 2 goals here last season to win the game for Leeds is not going to notch this occasion, and Eddie Nketiah is handed the responsibility of trying to get Leeds something from this game with a goal perhaps. So Leeds can really go for it now. They've got a lot of attacking players out there, and that has to be the intention as the clock ticks down. 12.5 minutes remaining of normal time. Not an awful lot to be added on, I wouldn't predict. When Nketiah goes on his first run down the near side touchline, Roberts backs him up, and between the pair of them they put pressure on the defender to bring a Leeds United throw in, level with the edge of the Preston box. Alioski with a short throw to Tyler Roberts. Tyler Roberts working the space on the edge of the area, gives it back to Alioski again. Runners in the penalty area, goes to the far post. Waiting there is Rafferty up towards the edge of the area and the penalty box, and the clearance is completed by Barkhuizen, and then it goes over the far side touchline for a Preston throw, and the home supporters in much happier mood now, as you might well imagine.
Just with Tyler coming on there, Bryn, I hope he plays really close to Nketiah. Don't want that gap too big, especially in possession. Yeah, out of possession, he might have to do his defensive duties, just filling in that kind of midfield, holding midfield role that Ben Pearson does kind of sit in for Preston. But when we hand the ball here, can he get him in beyond Nketiah, commit himself into the box?
So Leeds will come again with another throw in, midway inside the Preston half, far side. Klich leaves it for Dallas, and Dallas takes it short again, and then it's a foul on Klich, and it'll be a Leeds free kick. And he's given offside. You're absolutely right. Yeah, although Klich went to ground, and the linesman raised a flag immediately, but the flag was because Klich had gone the wrong side. I suspect the linesman might have actually given the free kick there, and the ref gave a offside. Never mind. It's a chance for Preston to take a free kick, but it's bigger than that. It's a chance for Preston to waste an awful lot of time. Declan Rudd takes an age over going to retrieve the ball. You can't really blame him, and then tentatively spots it up, and then takes a lot of steps back so that another 10 seconds maybe elapse before he finally makes contact with the ball. Up and over the halfway line. Header won by Ben White. Leeds fans doing their bit, trying to get behind the team. Something big needed from Leeds now. And time is very much against the away side here. And Preston have themselves just what they want. They have a free kick in the Leeds half. Chance to deliver the ball into the penalty area, but also a chance again just to keep the clock ticking over. Referee now just starting to get involved, I think, here to say, oh, he's going towards the Leeds technical area. Fourth official is handing him something. Not sure what's gone on there.
What's all that about?
And the referee will hopefully be adding all of that on, because play was delayed because of some interaction between him and his assistant on the far touchline. Leeds clear from the edge of the penalty area. Shouts for handball from the home supporters. Nothing doing. Fisher slips. Harrison takes the ball off him. Fisher gets it back again, and then Fisher goes to ground, and Harrison's gone through the back of him. And Preston have a free kick
on the floor.
Just in from the byline, and just between the corner flag and the edge of the Leeds penalty area. So more defending for Leeds to do.
All these things are just adding up now, just spoiling the game, slowing down the any momentum that was in it. Well, no one's. Is the referee taking this free kick, or? Well,
nobody in a Preston shirt seems to be too keen to get involved with it. Alan Browne belatedly comes over towards the near side to take it for Preston, and then again long discussion. In fact, Browne comes to take it and then wanders away from it again. I mean, this is quite blatant time wasting by Preston. Browne is pretending to have a conversation, and then switches the free kick, and Browne is the free kick taker generally for Preston. Then instead it's decided after a long discussion that Daniel Johnson will take it, and again tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Johnson then for Preston. He'll take it left-footed. Looks like it'll be an in-swinger. Plenty of movement in the near post, and heads go up in the penalty area. It's cleared away, or should be cleared away, by Luke Ayling. He's under pressure though down by the corner flag from Maguire, and he does well. He just rolls the ball off the toes of Maguire, and Leeds do get themselves a throw in, and they're in a real hurry now to get this ball back into play, to try and get some forward momentum, because we're well inside the final 10 minutes of normal time here now. Preston North End 1, Leeds United 0. Tyler Roberts goes back to the corner flag, gets the ball back again. Leeds just trying to work it into a forward position, but they miss out, and Nketiah's pass is short. Now they come again with Nketiah, but he's deep in his own half still. As the ball comes out the near side, Roberts goes past one challenge, goes to ground. No free kick given, and Maguire has the chance to break forward for Preston on the edge and into the penalty area, and he drives the ball into the near post, and Casilla has to go down and push the ball behind, and it's a Preston corner kick, and Leeds somewhat mystified as to how they didn't get a free kick there.
Almost similar to how they got the opening goal, Preston, where it looks like we're going to create something this time on a counter attack, but just one ball over the top nearly cut us open yet again.
So Leeds have more defending to do, and Preston really have done extremely well since the goal. They've taken the sting out the game, they've had the opportunity to run the clock down, and they've had the opportunity to keep the ball up in the Leeds half, up around the Leeds penalty area. And with every passing second it gets harder for Leeds as the header is goalwards. Just over the top as it turned out, and again it was Barkhuizen who arrived in all sorts of space round about the penalty spot to head goalwards, and Leeds are relieved that that wasn't on target.
Hopefully that can be a little turning point where we're looking back, and then after 10-15 minutes time we've got something out of this game where kind of big chance has gone begging for Preston and let us off the hook a little bit.
Well, the goal kick's not the best from Kiko Casilla, and it sails over the head on the far touch line of Stuart Dallas, and it goes out for a Preston North End throw in right on the halfway line. So Leeds just can't get any possession here to try and get the game going in their favour again.
Just no momentum at all, is there? It's just stop-start at the moment, playing straight into Preston's hands.
And Preston again happy to have another throw in, and happy to bounce the ball around between players to change their minds on who's going to take it, and it goes down the line far side from Rafferty, and again it's into touch, and again Alex Neil will be absolutely delighted with the game management that his side are displaying just at the moment here, because they're just not letting Leeds have the ball at all. They're keeping the pressure on, and they're playing at the end of the park where they want to be. Barkhuizen's exactly there now. Leeds trying to win the ball back, but still Preston have it. And it's still in play on the far side somehow through a clutch of players. The ball emerges. Johnson for Preston, and again ball spoons up in the air, and it's really scrappy, really messy over on that far side touchline. And the best Leeds can do in the end is just a hoof one forward into the centre circle. Now there's a bit of space. Now Nketiah, and he runs across Fisher, and Fisher brings him down, and that will be a free kick to Leeds. That's probably going to be. Is it going to be the first yellow card of the evening? Because as Nketiah ran across Fisher there, it was almost what you describe as a professional foul, in as much as he took him out and stopped the play. And although Leeds may yet benefit from this, yes, it will, I think, be the first yellow card of the evening, and rightly so.
He can protest as much as he wants, but you believe me, you know, as a defender, all you do is put your hands up to the referee to make sure you look really innocent, just by accident. But you know what you do, you just give him a little clip.
So we're inside the final 5 minutes now. Preston North End 1, Leeds United 0. Matchday live on LUTV, brought to you by Deliveroo Food Freedom. This is a chance for Leeds United. It's some way out. So do they shoot on goal, or will Calvin Phillips try and do something a little bit different with this opportunity? The Preston wall has retreated to the edge of the penalty area, so that gives you an indication of where the ball is in relation to the Preston goal. It's just to the left of centre. Phillips it is who stands over it now. Stands parallel with the ball. Right foot shot straight into the wall. Comes back for Calvin Phillips. Disappointing first strike. Chance for Ayling maybe. Now Tyler Roberts. Great block from Tyler Roberts. Shot in the edge of the area. Ball back into the area. Nketiah with the header. Yes! It's there! And Eddie Nketiah with a headed goal brings Leeds United level. Cue pandemonium in the away end. Preston North End 1, Leeds United 1.
What an header from Eddie Nketiah. He had no right bring to score from there. I was thinking, right, Eddie, back across face of the goal for your teammate. But such power, such quality just to get it on target. And for it to drop underneath the bar. What a grandstand finish we got now, Bryn.
So what do you do now?
Go
Preston
for it.
North End 1, Leeds 1. Go for it, says Ben Parker. A check on the watch tells us there are 3 minutes of normal time remaining as the ball is headed back to Kiko Casilla. Well, you can hear what the Leeds fans think. Away to our left-hand side. Voices raised in hope now. Maybe even expectation. As Alioski has the ball at his feet. Over the top for Harrison to chase. Harrison down the left-hand side. and Nketiah waits in the middle. Appeal, big appeal for handball against Bauer there. Referee was the wrong side of play to be able to see that.
Don't foul.
And they force Brad Potts back towards his own corner flag, but Potts has done really well. Turned and played the ball quickly to Pearson, and Pearson switches play from right to left, where Barkhuizen waits for Preston, and they have possession back again on the far side. And then it's ball played over the top, over the head of Ayling. Ayling though wins the ball back off Maguire. Now Leeds do have space, and the game is so open all of a sudden. And it's Klich on the charge for Leeds United. And Nketiah is wide right of him. Klich still going, and Nketiah goes into the box now, and he waits for support, and Klich still has space on the edge of the area, and he plays it to Alioski on the edge of the D. Alioski right through the middle, comes back for Klich again Leeds trying to work a space. It breaks for Tyler Roberts, far side. Tyler Roberts into the 6-yard box, but Preston get the block in, and Leeds have to start again with a throw in from the far side.
Just wanting that half a yard, that little bit of luck, just something to break for us in the box.
Almost did, it almost did. Far side, Tyler Roberts has possession for Leeds. Goes back and then tries a little back heel. Gets the ball back off a deflection off the Preston defender, Rafferty. And then all the way back to the halfway line. Good possession for Leeds United. They come again through the middle now. Alioski, there's so many to aim at. Going through the middle, and Nketiah tries to bring it down on the edge of the penalty area. Alioski comes in to win it back for Leeds again, just outside the box. And then it's cleared up towards the halfway line, but only Ayling there for Leeds. And now Phillips, driven on by those Leeds fans behind the goal. Harrison left-hand side, takes on Fisher. Gets the ball past Fisher. Great cross into the penalty area. And it's headed away by Rafferty. Comes back out as far as Phillips, and then whacked clear by Pearson into the centre circle. Ben White trying to win it back for Leeds, does ever so well. And now Leeds come again through Calvin Phillips, pouring forward Leeds United. Harrison left hand side, he's got the chance for the cross, takes a second opportunity. Now Alioski, that should be the goalkeeper's ball. Poor cross actually from Alioski there, and it's a shame because Leeds really were piling players into the penalty area, and Preston are going to just try and calm things down, I think, a little here by making another change in a moment. Attendance of 18,275. Preston will be delighted with that crowd, supplemented of course by that huge Leeds United following away to our left hand side, as Leeds hope that they will be able to get one more at least opportunity in the time that remains. Seconds remaining. As Casilla takes a massive risk on the edge of the penalty area there, just about picks the ball up literally right on the edge of the penalty box under a bit of pressure from Maguire. Leeds taking a bit of a chance as they play it out in a little triangle, and Preston win it back from them, and now it's Preston who can come from the left hand side and Leeds who have to defend, and it's Browne who has the ball at his feet. He's forced away from goal by Phillips, who's done well there, but the board goes up with 3 added minutes to be played in this game. 3 more minutes for either of these teams to conjure up an incredibly dramatic winner. Leeds looked aside most likely moments ago, but suddenly it's Preston who have some more initiative and impetus, and they're in the Leeds United half, and they're still waiting to make that change from the far side, from the dugouts, as the Leeds fans find their voices once more. And there's a delay now as the change is prepared but not made. Now the change is made as the board finally goes up. Barkhuizen goes off, the man who got the goal, and the man who will come on to replace him is the number 19, and it's a chance for Preston to get the ball forward and into the Leeds penalty area and try and put pressure on the away side, having had to defend themselves in the last few minutes as the ball is cleared away from the edge of the box. But I think, is it going to go out of play? No, it stays in play, and it's Ayling underneath it for Leeds on the edge of the area. Then Roberts tries to help it on, and then suddenly there's a bit of space and there's a shot goalwards, and there were extra Preston bodies there before it's blocked from Potts' effort. Comes out to Fisher on the near side. Fisher kills a great cross in. Casilla's got to make that. He gets fingertips to it, and Leeds are just a little bit lucky there that Browne stretched but couldn't make proper contact, and the ball is cleared into touch, and suddenly it's the home fans who find their voices, and it's Preston who are pushing forward now. And you're at the stage a minute and a half into added time where you think, well, maybe just settle for it. Is there going to be a free kick for Preston here? Calvin Phillips does concede the free kick, so Leeds have more defending to do in the closing stages, the closing seconds indeed of this game. The ball is out on the far side. It's 10 yards or less out of the Leeds penalty area, and it's just outside the penalty box, to the midpoint almost between the edge of the penalty area maybe and the far side touchline, but a bit closer to the penalty area than that. So a really good opportunity for Preston to at least get the ball into the penalty box as the clock ticks down. In it goes now, right foot into the near post. Oh, it's just wide, and Casilla dived and it went beyond him, and it carries just beyond the far post, and that was mighty close. Now Leeds don't hang around, they try and come themselves. Tyler Roberts, what a finish to this game. Two sides are going at it, hammer and tongs. Tyler Roberts now is brought down by Pearson, and Leeds have a free kick, and Leeds have a chance to get the ball into the Preston penalty area, and we're literally seconds away from the end of this one. So whatever is to be added on, surely the game is very, very close to its conclusion now. Breathless stuff here at Deepdale. Preston 1, Leeds 1, last few seconds, and Leeds surely have the last chance to conjure up a winner. What a dramatic finish that would be. Can they do something from this free kick? You almost expect the whistle to go as it's taken by Calvin Phillips. He's midway inside the Preston half. The free kick's position is just to the left of centre. Everybody almost up on the edge of the penalty area, as Calvin Phillips looks to come up with something special here. Curls the ball in towards the penalty spot, headed clear, comes towards the edge of the area now. Leeds pick it up again through Costa. Costa out towards the right hand side. Can he get the ball into the box? Yes, he can. Tyler Roberts goes down, and the referee looks long and hard and says nothing doing there, no penalty, but Leeds come again anyway, and it's a charge from Ayling on the right hand side. Low cross in towards the edge of the 6 yard box is cleared away, and that surely is it. Still they play on. Preston have possession just outside the penalty area, and it's cleared up towards the halfway line, and the boos from the Leeds fans are because of the non-award of the penalty kick that they felt they should have had, but ultimately applause, I think, from both sets of supporters, because it's been a fine spectacle. and I think we've probably got just about a fair result. Preston North End took the lead late on, but Leeds conjured up a late equaliser from the head of Nketiah, and I think ultimately, would you have to be happy with a point, Ben?
Ultimately, yes. But I'd love to see the penalties right back there. The players have run over to the referee surrounding him, asking him the question. From our point where we're sat here, very hard to tell whether it's a penalty or not. All I saw was Tyler Roberts was snipping in front of the Preston defender. But no, the overall game, I thought we were the best team. We gave away a goal against the run of play when it looked like we were going to score at the other end. But no, every time you go a goal down, less than 10 minutes to play, you get the goal back to get a point, you probably would take that. But no, ultimately we would be disappointed. We expected to come here, get all 3 points, but no, we'll take a point and move on to Sheffield Wednesday now.
Well, not forgetting that Preston North End are unbeaten at home this season. They've won 5 of their previous fixtures here. So it always looked like quite a challenge for Leeds United. But for long periods, they controlled the game. For long periods, they dominated possession. They created more chances, certainly. And ultimately, I guess on that basis, that will be the frustration at the end of the night. But Nketiah's header means that they take something back over the Pennines at least.
And what an header it was, by the way. Like we said in the commentary, as it just happened, where you're thinking he's got too much to do. It's like he had to generate all the power himself. We're just heading it back into an area for a teammate to come and run onto it. But no, the confidence in the man. Also, we all know what he did with the England under-21s, going away, scoring a lot of goals. But no, he's come and rescued us there. And who knows, come into the season, it could be a big, valuable point, that.
So Leeds United go to the supporters and they salute the supporters backing. And then they turn and head towards the tunnel, safe in the knowledge that another point at least has been secured here. And away from home, the losing run has been brought to an end. A point has been earned from a very, very hard-fought draw. Final score here at Deepdale. It's finished. Preston North End 1, Leeds United 1.